This conference will now be recorded.
Try to understand. It is your some of my customers are moving out of my business to some other company. It is your churn. You want to do some prediction on this. Which customer is going to move out of my business to some other business? Which algorithm am I going to apply? Okay, Manju is not answering. So let me choose somebody else. So Devanshu, can you explain me this?
Hello.
Yes, yes, Devanshu, you're audible.
Hello.
Manju, Eli. Yes,
Ah,
Manju.
Yogesh, I'll go for linear regression.
Linear regression.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So once again, don't ping your answers on chat window. Others, please wait. So Manjunath says that it is linear regression. Why, Manjunath? Could you please explain me why linear regression?
Uh, because um, I want to see because I need to find the dependencies, like why it is so. There is something which is related to I mean why the employees are leaving. So I see there is some dependency which is causing employees to leave. So I need to find out what exactly it is causing. That is nothing but it is dependent on something. So
Yeah, so obviously, see, I'm talking about dependency might be anything. Dependency might be your
Mhm,
hike, or dependency might be
mhm,
something else. Dependency might be on your profit ratio, or whatever it is. My question is
mhm,
simple. You should tell me
mhm,
which
mhm,
algorithm, that's it. So, like you told me linear regression for, see,
mhm,
try to
mhm,
understand my question once again. So, I'm running a
mhm,
custom business. Some of my business
mhm,
customers are living out of my company, means they are my clients. They don't want to work with
mhm,
me, they want to go with some other company. So which
mhm.
algorithm are you going to apply? If you're pinging your answers on chat window, please ping me on private chat. Yes. Okay, fine. Halari says something, Debanshu says something. Others, please ping your answers on chat window. Manju, you explain me. Which algorithm once again? Think. Manju, think once again.
Yeah.
Ram has replied, Debanshu has replied, Lahari has replied. What about others? Ratnesh, can you reply on chat window? Sanjay, I think Sanjay is not there, sorry. Ranjini has given an answer. Ratnesh and Satish, I want your answers as well.
uh, uh, if it is cluster, that is, if there is any classification related, so that time I'll go for clustering.
Clustering.
I
Okay,
feel
fine. Yes, you
uh,
feel what? You feel what? Tell me.
I feel that is what I need to identify the dependency.
See, Manju, whatever I've taught in the class, it is not based on your dependency. It is based on your prediction. Okay. Now
Mhm.
coming to next person. So your answer is wrong, Manju. Your linear
Oh.
regression is also wrong. Your clustering is also wrong. So let me
Mhm.
ask Debanshu. Debanshu, can you explain me? I want you to talk, Debanshu.
Hello, Yogesh.
Yes,
Yeah, just 1 minute, 1 minute. I'll tell you.
sure.
Yeah.
Ram, your answer is wrong. Lahari, your answer is wrong. You did not understand my question itself because your one Lahari is telling clustering, and Satish is telling multiple regression, and one more person is telling a linear regression. The linear regression itself is wrong. First thing, remember. Why now Debanshu is going to explain why it should not be linear regression. Why it should not be linear regression? Come on. Ratnesh, you are telling it as multiple regression. Tell me the answer. Multiple regression is fine. What type of regression it is? I'm asking that question.
Logistic.
Yes, it should be logistic regression. It should be logistic regression. Yes, it is simple, right? It is simple. Whether a customer is going out of your company or not, whether a person is going to leave you or not, yes or no, right? Yes, for linear regression, the output should be continuous, right? But here the output is not continuous, right? Whether a client is going out of you or not, that's it. Got my point now, Manju? Manju, Ram?
Yogesh,
Yeah, Yogesh,
but
Yes,
here, because since example, if I am in that project to identify why the customer is leaving, so if I say it is logistic, either it is like yes or no, that's fine, but I need to identify why, right? I mean, so
I
I
did not tell you to identify why. I told you to identify or build a model with respect to which customer is going to out of my company or not,
okay.
right?
Hello.
So,
Okay.
yes. Any other questions,
Hello.
Ram?
Yeah. Yogesh, this is
yeah,
Devanshu.
actually, Yogesh, I heard it as
One
like
sec, one sec.
how many customers are leaving. That is what. Sorry.
No,
Hello.
I didn't tell how many customers. I told clearly it is which customer is
Okay.
going to leave or not.
Okay. Sorry, then I heard wrong. Sorry.
Okay, Lahari, coming to Debanshu now. Debanshu, can you explain me?
Hello, Yogesh.
Yes.
Hey, sorry, actually, my network server was really down, so that's why I connected to my hotspot, phone hotspot. So yeah, so I was saying it is logistic regression because whether we have to decide whether a person is going to use that network or not. For suppose if it
Okay.
is a like I'll tell it with respect to a telecom department. So we'll check whether a person is going to use that network or not. So that's why we'll be using logistic regression.
Yes. Here our output variable
Yes.
is discrete in nature, whether a person is going to
Yeah.
leave or not.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. That's the reason you should use logistic regression. Many times I've told you it will depend on your output. It will depend on your output, right? I told you that if your output variable is continuous, then only you should go for linear regression. Otherwise, you should not go for linear regression. Got it, Manju, now? See, that's the reason I asked you. Try to understand my question once again.
Yes, Yogesh.
Ram, got it clear now?
This will be a binomial case.
Yeah, Yogesh, I got it.
Yes, and one more thing, Ratnesh and Satish, you are telling multiple regression, but you are not telling either linear regression or logistic regression. You should tell with respect to that what is linear regression and what is logistic regression. Multiple regression means it can be multiple linear regression, multiple logistic regression.
Okay.
Now the next question is for Larry. Larry, unmute yourself. Larry, unmute yourself. How do you measure the performance of? How do you measure the performance of linear regression? How do you measure the performance of linear? Others, you can ping me on private chat. Larry? Okay, Manju? Manju?
Yogesh, sorry, I was in a call. Hello?
How do you measure the performance of linear regression is my question.
Mhm.
Using the function LM.
That function LM is used to build your linear regression model, Lahari.
Huh.
Now coming to Bharat. That is not the answer, Lahari. That is used to build your algorithm.
Okay.
Yogesh, hello. Yogesh, can you
Yes,
hear me?
Bharat. Tell me.
We need to use a function called confint.
Wrong, Bharat.
Using R
How do you
square,
measure
no?
the? Hope you remember R squared value.
R
Based
square
on R square.
value.
Yes, you should tell me that, right? You should not tell me. See, I have given your time. Manju, I have given your slot. I have given Lahari slot. I have given others Bharat slot. So you should tell when you're this thing. So LM is a function to build your linear regression in RStudio. Got it, Lahari?
Yeah.
Bharat, confint. Why is confint used, Bharat?
Uh, to predict the accuracy of the model that we are building.
Wrong, Bharat. Ratnesh, can you tell me? Ratnesh, can you tell me? Why do we use? Okay, you're on office. Satish, can you tell me? Satish.
This based on the probability value.
Confint is based on your probability value. What it is? You should explain me.
If the probability value is greater than 0.5.
No, it is wrong. It is wrong. Coming to 1 sec. Let me choose somebody else. Can you tell me?
Yeah, it is used to check the confidence interval.
Yes.
Say like we want the confidence interval to be like for around 80%. So we introduce the level as 80%. So if you have found for 95%, the default for any other business thing,
Yes.
is 90%.
Lower range and upper range beta naught and beta 1 values, right?
We get it through that.
Yes. Got it, Bharat? Hope you remember now, Bharat.
Yes, Yogesh.
It is used for your lower beta naught and upper beta naught and beta 1 values. That is the reason we use confidence interval, confint function. Now what is a function? What is a function for implementing linear regression in Python, Manjunath? In Python.
Python.
Don't open your Jupyter notebook now, Manju.
No, I'm.
Okay, fine. Ratnesh, no worries. Ranjini, can you tell me the answer for this? What is the function to implement linear regression in Python?
Is it LM?
LM is in R. That's the reason I did not ask you in R.
SMS dot ordinary least square OLS. Hello.
Yes, tell me once again.
SMS dot OLS ordinary.
Yes, what is it? See, first thing is you are doing it as SMF. SMF is not a function. OLS is a function.
Ordinary
OLS?
least square. Ordinary
Yes,
least
ordinary least square. What is SMF? What is full form of SMF? So what is the library you are going to implement, Bharat? Bharat, can you tell me the library which you are going to implement for linear regression?
Yogesh,
See, you remember functions, you don't remember libraries. You remember libraries, you don't remember functions. That's the reason I'm choosing
NumPy.
randomly. Bharat,
Stats
try.
model.
Is it NumPy?
That pandas and numpy is your basic libraries. It is your
Matplotlib.
statsmodel.formula.api. No,
Stat
no.
model formula.
Statsmodel.formula.api. Hope you remember now, Bharat.
Yes.
Yes. Statsmodel.formula.api. So now the next question is for Ram. Ram, how do you measure the performance of logistic regression?
We can measure through AIS or ROC curve or through
No.
these are the
First you told something. What is that first one?
AI AIS what actually after finding out the logistic regression we get the two results instead of coefficients we get the two values. I forgot the name of that.
That is what I'm asking you.
Yeah, actually find it one of the method is ROC curve and
Yes, that is fine.
one is ROC curve. That is higher the house you just see the curve. If the curve is higher the curve, better the performance.
Okay. But you told me
And
something before that.
yeah,
That is what I'm
second.
asking you.
One sec, it's I'm not getting the word AIC. Yeah,
AIC value.
yeah, AIC value.
AIC value you will not use. AIC is not used for your checking the performance of your logistic regression. Have you heard about confusion matrix? Have I explained this confusion matrix?
Yeah, one more that was I forgot.
Yes.
Yeah, confusion
Exactly.
matrix and ROC curve.
And ROC curve. Now,
Yeah.
so can you explain me what is the difference between null deviance and residual deviance, Satish? Null deviance and residual deviance. What is the difference between those two, Satish?
Residual deviance is the number of reoccurring the errors. Residual and null deviance is under the curve. I'm not sure.
Okay, Bharat, can you tell me what is the difference between null deviance and residual deviance?
Sorry, I forgotten.
Lahari? Debanshu?
Don't.
Yes, that's the reason. See, it is, I have not given just 2 to 3 days. You are almost got around last week, full day, 7 days. And prior to that also 3 days you got. And it is almost 10 days you have got time to prepare, right? So, Debanshu, can you tell me what is beta naught and null deviance and residual deviance?
Null deviance is when we calculate with respect to beta naught, and residual deviance is when we include all the coefficients.
Yes, correct. So beta naught, see, if you are using just beta naught and if you are calculating, the error will be calculating with respect to your null deviance. That is called as null deviance. If you are using all the input parameters along with your beta naught with respect to your coefficients, then that is called as your residual deviance. Residual deviance. Got it? Now, what is the difference between KNN and K-means? Let me choose. Ranjini, what is the difference between K-means and KNN? 100% they will be asking you such type of questions. Why I'm asking you is because both start from K. You'll get confused. So that's the reason I'm asking you. What is the difference between K-means and KNN?
KNN is the classification algorithm.
Okay, correct.
And K-means is clustering.
K-means is?
Clustering.
Yes. K-means is a clustering algorithm and KNN is a classification algorithm. Yes.
Yeah.
And is your K-means clustering, is it supervised or unsupervised?
Hello?
Yeah. Is K-means
Supervised.
clustering supervised or unsupervised? Bharat.
Supervised.
Bharat says supervised. Satish.
Non-supervised.
Okay, Manju.
It is non-supervised.
You should not tell it as non-supervised. You should either tell it as supervised or
Non-hierarchical.
unsupervised.
Non-hierarchical.
Not non-hierarchical. I'm talking about your unsupervised or supervised. That's it. Ratnesh, whether it is supervised or unsupervised. Ratnesh. Just ping your answer on chat window, Ratnesh. Lahari. Ranjini.
KNN is supervised.
No, I'm asking you. I'm asking you about your K-means. That's it. Clustering.
Unsupervised.
K-means is supervised.
Okay. So I'll tell you the simple answer is clustering itself is unsupervised learning. There is no point of, see, how can you tell that Larry belongs to computer science? Or how can you tell that Bharat belongs to information science? You know the output? You don't know the output, right? It is your unsupervised learning. Bharat got it now? If your output is known, then only you can say that it is supervised learning. If your output is unknown, it is called as
It is unsupervised.
What's the difference?
Yogesh?
Yes.
Yogesh.
Yes. Tell me, Manju.
This clustering is also one of a classification algorithms. I mean,
No.
Classification method, right?
No. Classification algorithms are logistic regression, naive Bayes, KNN, and decision trees.
Okay.
I told you, whenever I start, I used to tell this. Now, the next question. Now, we consider that what is the difference between adjusted R squared value and multiple R squared value? Bharat, can you tell me? What is the difference between multiple R squared value and adjusted R squared value? No idea?
No,
Ram,
Yogesh.
can you explain me?
Yeah, R square value is what we get, that's the accuracy of the model, linear model. So adjusted R square value is the one we get, that is, if the inputs keep on changing, the outputs also keeps on changing. So the model keeps the balance such a way that it is not much variation between R square value. So that is called adjusted R square value.
Okay. In a simpler way, what we can tell is write down. If you don't have the answers, please write down whenever I tell the answers. So multiple R squared value increases or decreases if you keep on increasing or decreasing of your variables. Multiple R squared value increases or decreases when you keep on adding or deleting your input variables. Light. adjusted R squared value will increase or decrease based on the significance of your input variables. Adjusted R squared value increases or decreases based on the significance of your input variables. See, you should see, these are some of the important questions. Okay, let me ask you a question next. So, Lahari, can you explain me what is multicollinearity problem?
When the input variable is output variable is dependent on input variable. If there is the dependency exists between the output variable and the input variable, then we call that scenario as multicollinearity.
Okay, is it correct, Bharat? Is it correct, Bharat? Is it correct, Ram?
No, that is, if any input
No.
variables are highly correlated with other variables,
Yeah, two
then
input
call as
variables are correlated, then we call as a multicollinearity.
Yes. So, Lahari, when it comes to your answer, you are telling that your output variable is dependent on input variable. It doesn't mean that it is collinearity. Obviously, your output should be related to your input, right? That is not collinearity. If you're having the dependency, if your input variable, for example, two inputs are there, x1 and x2. If these two are dependent on each other, then this is called as your multicollinearity problem. It is not based on your output and input. It is based on your input 1 and input 2. If there is a linear dependency between your x1 and x2, then it is called as multicollinearity problem. Write down in your simple words, multicollinearity is equal to, what does it mean is, if both the inputs are linearly dependent on each other, then it is called as multicollinearity problem. Is it clear now? Lahari?
Yeah.
Okay. Now coming to the next question. How do you excuse me. Okay. So let me just ask you a question. On what basis, for example, you are having 5 input variables, on what basis will you select that all these input variables are significant or not? Bharat? Bharat?
It depends on the p value.
Yes. How much should be a p value?
0.05.
Yes, if your p value is less than 0.05, then that input variable is significant. Else you should not go with respect to that input variable. Okay. Now, Lahari, what is correlation coefficient?
It is the small r value that is which measures the degree of linear relationship between the variables.
Okay, correct. So what is coefficient of determination, Manju? What is coefficient of determination, Manju?
Sorry, Akish, I need to check.
Okay, Bharat, can you tell me what is coefficient of determination?
if the r square value which is greater than 0.85.
No. What is coefficient of determination is my question. Your answer is 90% correct, but you're not telling in a proper way. Okay, how do you denote coefficient of determination?
Based on R value?
Based on R value. Coefficient of determination is denoted by R square. Correlation coefficient is denoted by small r. Got it, Satish? Don't get confused between R and R square. That's the reason I told you in the class itself, concentrate on R and R square. Both are different. One is called as correlation coefficient. One is called as coefficient of determination. Now, what is the range of correlation coefficient? What is the range of correlation coefficient?
-1 to +1.
-1 to +1.
Plus
Yes, correct.
still.
Yes, Debanshu, how do we define the coefficient of determination? I've explained you. Hope you remember that, or shall I tell it once again? The coefficient of determination is nothing but it is denoted by R square, which indicates the percentage of your variation in your output. The percentage of variation in your output is explained by its input variables. Is explained by its input variables. Got it?
Can you repeat once again, Yogesh?
Yes, you can write down. I'm going to tell you once again. Coefficient of determination is defined as percentage variation in your output. Percentage variation in your output is explained by its input variable.
Percentage variation in your input or output.
Percentage variation of your output is explained. Percentage variation of your output is explained by its input variables. Is called as coefficient of determination. Clear? Clear. The next question. The next question for Ranjini. How do you select your root node, Ranjini, with respect to decision trees? Sorry for that. Sorry.
I think we haven't done the decision tree.
We haven't done decision tree?
No.
No, Yogesh.
No.
Only naive. We
Only
thought that
the
after the class text classification we're going to do.
Okay, fine. After naive based text classification, we are going to do it, right? Fine.
Right.
So coming to your naive based algorithm. Naive based algorithm part now. Let me just go for. Can you explain me what is dendrogram, Bharat?
Yogesh, it is
Yeah, it is. Tell me, Bharat.
it is the homogeneous group that has been created by calculating the distance between the two data points.
That is not dendrogram. Ranjini, can you tell me what is dendrogram?
It's a tree-like structure. Sorry, Yogesh, it's a tree-like structure.
Yes, it is a tree-like structure which will define your clustering process. You should tell that.
Yes.
So coming to Lahari, can you explain me what is complete linkage, Lahari?
Farthest distance between the two points in between the two clusters.
Okay, fine, correct. So, but Debanshu, can you explain me what is type 1 error and type 2 error? Debanshu.
That is related to null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis.
Yes,
Type
tell
1
me.
error and type 2 error. I don't remember the sequence exactly. Type 1 error is where the action was supposed to be taken, but we didn't take the action.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay,
type 2
you
is,
can. Yes, I'll give you one more simple sentence for type 1 error and type 2 error. Please write down others. With respect to hypothesis testing, what do you understand by type 1 error and type 2 error? Please try to take down the questions. Type 1 error is committed when the null hypothesis is true. Type 1 error is committed when the null hypothesis is true and we reject it. It is also known as false positive. It is also known as false positive. Type 1 error is committed when the null hypothesis is true and we reject it. It is also known as false positive. Now type 2 error. Type 2 error is committed when the null hypothesis is false. When the null hypothesis is false and we accept it. It is also known as false negative.
true negative, right?
Yes, true negative. One sec. True positive. Okay. Yes. It is false negative. Sorry, it is false negative, Debanshu. Type
False
2 error. I'm talking.
when action was supposed to be taken.
Yeah, that is what. That is whatever I have given. So this is another explanation how you want to tell in interviews. When action was supposed to be taken, but you are not taking action, means that is your false negative, Debanshu. That is called as your
Sorry. So the type 1 error is also called as a false negative.
false positive. Type 1 error is false positive.
Okay.
Type 2 error is called as false negative. Type 2 error is committed when the null hypothesis is false and we accept it. It is also known as false negative.
Hello, Yogesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Devanshu.
Yes, Debanshu.
We had constructed a table regarding this thing.
Yes.
Type 1 and
Yes.
both were like that.
See,
Type 1 and
if type 1 error is your false positive. So how do you write your this thing? Okay, let me share my screen then. Just see my screen.
yeah.
This is your type 1 error, pink color. You're able to see this?
Yeah, correct.
This is your false positive called as type 1 error. This is your false negative, which is called as your type 2 error. So this is your H0, H0, H1, H1 with respect to this. So this diagonal will be always true positive and true negative. This diagonal will be with respect to your false positive and false negative. That pink color table says it is type 1 error and type 2 error. Green color is true. Green color is true. Now coming to the next interview question. What is the function to implement clustering? What is the function to implement hierarchical clustering in Python? Ranjini, Bharat, Ratnesh.
H cluster.
That is in your final. That is in RStudio, right? Masking in Python.
Agglomerative clustering.
Yes, it is agglomerative clustering function. Yes. Yes. Hope you remember. Now, anybody can take this question. Okay, anybody can explain me this. What is machine learning? You should explain me in such a way that I'm a kid. I should understand. I should understand what is machine learning. That's it. It is your common sense question. It is generic question for anyone. You should explain me what is machine learning, thinking that I'm a 10 years or 5 years old kid.
Machine learning is a technique where it will predict the present or a future based on
One sec,
the
one sec, one
experience
sec.
or
Who
the.
is this? Who is this?
This is me, Manju.
Manju,
Yeah.
I'm a 5-year-old kid. I don't
Oh,
understand
5 years.
prediction,
Okay.
machine learning, anything. You should explain me in that way and that way.
Okay.
Larry, can you try? Bharat, can you try? Anybody can try this.
Okay, Yogesh, I'll just try my best here.
Yes.
Consider daily going to from here from point A to point B. Okay,
Okay.
and today it's sunny, and for the next 15 days, you consider it will be like hot weather. So
One
the
sec.
next
Yes. Yes. Tell
hello.
me. Go ahead.
Yeah. So today is the day one, and from day one you just go from here point A to point B. Say you're going from here home to school. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And say in day one it is hot, day two it is sunny. I mean sunny, hot weather, and day three is also hot weather, and day
Mm-hmm.
four it becomes cloudy. So
Mm-hmm.
what happens is daily. So you take for say for 30 days, you take an average of 30 days. So out of the 30 days, you calculate and say that out of 30 days, 25 days was hot and remaining 30 days was rainy. So the next month, I just want to know whether like that next month. So I just want to know like 31st day. I just want to know like it's going to be like hot. It'll be like hot sunny day or it's going to rain. So
Yes.
we can. So this is the way we try to predict. So like if
Okay.
we would
Fine.
all you
But
know
you are
whether
see, 1 second, Ram. You are explaining me like a 15 years old boy or a 20 years old boy who has completed his 10th standard. I want you to explain that thinking that I'm a 5-year-old kid. That is my question. Your answer is correct. You're explaining to a
okay.
10th standard guy who can understand what is average, some basics. But 5-year-old kid doesn't understand. See, consider that you want to teach your kid, hey, dad, what are you learning? I'm learning machine learning. Can you tell me in my own words, dad? Can you explain me? Bharat,
Okay.
your daughter
Like
will ask you. Bharat,
machine,
will you explain? Larry, can you try? I'll explain. Write down. So this will be sometimes interview question as well. They will ask you, how do you explain machine learning?
can I try?
Simple, you should explain. Yes?
Can I try once?
Yes, try. Give it a try.
Like, suppose we are trying to teach a kid to walk, walk first steps.
Yes,
So
yes,
it will train itself like it will try to stand once with 2 feet. So, but on the first try, it will fall. So
yes,
like consequently, it will get to know that by standing suddenly, they could not walk directly. So from the previous experience or previous experience that the kid has got, so from that experience, he will learn that like he cannot walk directly, so he have to go through slowly. You have to bend
yes,
on knees and then like that. So it's
yes.
more simpler.
100% correct.
Like it's like
100%
teaching a kid
correct.
how to walk from the experience that they have obtained. Like when they fall, or first you have to hold on one support to continue its walk. It's like
Yes,
more simpler explanation.
yes. You should explain in a simpler way, like what Ranjini tried. So it is really 100% correct. So you can tell them that, see, for example, a baby is having 2 years, a baby is with respect to 2 years old. That baby wants to stand like others. That baby will be seeing their parents, that how my parents walk, how my sisters walk, my brothers walk. So that baby will also try to stand up for the first time, and it will fall down, and the baby will fall down, and it will try to feel the pain, and it starts crying for some time, and it learns that, okay, I should not directly stand like them. So I'm still a small baby, so I should also have some support, so that I'll be able to stand day by day. It will try to seek some help by door or some wall is there, and it will try to stand using that support. This is how your machine learning works and develops intuition from its environment. So you are also doing same thing. You are giving the data, you're training your data, you're training your model. It will see how to build this model, what are all these things. Then only it is going to implement. So you should explain in such a way that the baby, with respect to how it starts learning walking, or how it learns starting standing, from standing position, how it starts walking. Clear? You should take these type of examples. That's the reason I'm telling you, you should explain your kid. You should explain your kid. Got it? No. Mm, okay. Coming to your. Can you tell me Euclidean distance formula? Lahari?
y2 minus y1 whole square root of y2 minus y1 whole square plus x2 minus x1 whole square.
Okay, fine, fine. Fine then, 100% fine. Square root of x2 minus x1 plus y2 minus y1 whole square. So consider that I'm having 500 variables. Yes, they will ask you. They'll ask you that formula, square root of x2 minus x1 plus y2 minus y1 whole square sometimes. And coming to your next question. I was asking, consider that my data set is having 500 input variables. 500 input variables. So I want to reduce it. I cannot use all the 500 input variables. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do?
PCA
Dimensional reduction.
Yes, you'll go for dimension reduction technique by using PCA. So can you tell me PCA formula? Bharat? Manjunath? What is, how do you calculate
AI1 of x1 plus AI2 of x2 plus AI3 of x3 till AIN of xn.
So what is AI1, AI2?
AI1, AI2 is a weight.
Yes.
And x1 is the input variable.
Correct. So is your PCA, is your PC pairs of PCs correlated?
No.
Why? Why it is not correlated? I've said some word. Anybody can tell? Why your PCs are not correlated? Why they are uncorrelated?
Because once we normalize the data, normalize all the values, it won't be correlated. So it will be we're getting the weights of the what is the original inputs we are getting.
Okay.
No, before normalize only it will not be correlated, right?
It can be correlated or not.
Before correlation, see, before applying your PCA, data will be correlated. Before applying
PCA,
the data will
inputs
be
will be
correlated.
parallel. Inputs will be
Yes.
parallel. And after PCA, inputs will be perpendicular.
Yes. After applying your PCA, pairs of PCs will have are orthogonal in nature or perpendicular in nature.
Perpendicular in nature. After PCA.
Yes. Now, I think you need to prepare still a lot because no one remembers what is type 1 error, type 2 error, how do you measure the performance of linear regression, how do you measure the performance of logistic regression. All these things you should remember, please. Please go through these things once again. So once again, after your entire session is completed, I'll give you 10 days of time. So what did we complete on last session? So tomorrow onwards, we can plan the agenda part. So we completed Python naive Bayes, right? We need to start from R naive Bayes, right?
We completed
Just maybe theory has been done.
Okay, Python we didn't do naive Bayes?
No.
Practicals?
Only theory is done.
Only theory done.
Okay, fine.
And text mining.
Okay, fine. Naive Bayes, theory and practicals we do tomorrow. Sorry, practicals we do it in R and Python from tomorrow. One day Python, one day R. So decision tree we didn't do, right? So decision tree we need 2 days. Decision tree we need 2 days. And after that, we'll start with your time series. Time series we need at least minimum 3 to 4 days. So I'll keep it as simple for 3 days or 4 days. And then I'll also show you how to work on SVM. Sorry, don't require SVM is not required. Random forest. Random forest. I'll explain you what is random forest one day, and I'll just show you one implementation for random forest in easier way. So this is your Naive-Bayes. Tomorrow we'll be implementing Naive-Bayes using Python or using R. Anyone will be doing it tomorrow. Anyone will be doing it tomorrow. So probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we probably will complete in next 8-9 days. 8 days we might complete our session. So now I want you all to, how many days do you require, Bharat, for complete preparation? If I want you to take mock interview 1-to-1, how many days do you require, Bharat? After completion of all these topics, Bharat. Others, you can ping me your answers on chat window. Debanshu, how many days do you require after completion of these 3 algorithms still?
Yogesh, 2 weeks required for me.
Okay, 2 weeks. So for example, if I'm completing the session by November 8th or 10th, at least you should be prepared by November 25th or 26th, Bharat. Okay, 2 weeks for preparation for Satish also. See, why I'm telling it as 2 weeks or 1 week is if you leave, if you don't study for 15 days or 20 days, you'll get into comfortable zone. Don't do that. Please don't do that. If you get into comfortable zone, you will never be able to crack your data science interview. Okay, how many days do you require, Imran?
Hello?
Imran. Yes. Devanshu, how many days do you require?
See, you said that like I'm a fresher, right? So you said
For you,
clustering.
see, for you, next week only I'll be able to take your mock-up interview. No, I'm asking you, are you ready for mock interview next week?
Next, yeah, sure.
You should complete decision tree also. I'll complete because you told me that you need like up to clustering. You are ready. Complete your KNN, Naive-Bayes, and also decision tree. Next week I'll take your 1-to-1 mock interview.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
You said that you'll send some questions and all.
Yes, this is what, if I send you these questions, you would have answered me these questions itself. That's the reason I did not send. Now I'm going to send you. Now I'll be sending you those data part, questions part. Okay. If I send you on that day itself, you would only prepare this questions with respect to those things. That's the reason.
And one more thing, Yogesh.
Yes.
Yeah, I had sent you the CV. You said that
Yes.
you.
Yes. 100% I've seen the CVs, but I could not reply because I was not well. So tomorrow, maximum by tomorrow, I'm going to reply, Debanshu. Don't worry.
Yeah. Take your time, not an issue.
Sure. Okay, Imran says that you need 2 weeks. Fine. How about others? Please make sure that at least before November 30th, you complete your preparation. At least by December, you can start applying for the jobs. Because December, however, it will be slow. You can get more time in order to prepare. If you dedicate time, at least take 15 days or 20 days. Please make sure that you're all thorough with all the algorithms part. See, these type of questions only they will ask you in interview. Clear?
Yogesh,
yes.
What about the project?
Project I'm going to give you. Once you are ready with these topics, see, once I complete all these things, I'm going to send you the projects as well.
Okay.
But you are not, see, if you are not thorough with these topics, if I send you the project, will you be able to do, Bharat?
No, we need to practice a lot.
Yes, that's the reason I am not sending it yet. So complete this thing I'm going to give.
Okay, Yogesh.
Okay, Imran, please prepare, at least take November entire month, and you can be ready for mock interview. If I talk to you one-on-one, at least you will be able to understand where you are. Please give me one particular time slot when you want to take your interview. At least let me know before 1 or 2 days. Okay. See, based on your today's input, I cannot tell you that most of them I have not prepared properly, apart from Debanshu, and some part with respect to PCA, Bharat is okay, and some part Ram is okay. But Lahari, you should concentrate more. Manjunath, okay, around I can give you rating around 30%. You should prepare still a lot, and including everyone, I'm telling you, please dedicate time. No one is 100% perfect. At least don't want 100% perfect. I want you to be 70% at least. That too, especially linear logistic regression only you are missing. Majority of the things you are missing with respect to linear regression and logistic regression. These are the basic questions. If you are in thorough with these topics, you can manage. Somehow you can manage. That's the reason. Okay, please. So from tomorrow onwards, as usual, we'll connect around 7:30 a.m. 7:30 p.m. and tomorrow we'll be using Naive in Python or R. So post that, we'll go for decision tree, then time series, and last I'm going to take you random forest. Along with random forest, I'm also going to tell you, once you get into your job in data science industry, what are the steps you need to start while starting from a project, what all steps you need to do, what all steps you need to do. Post that, I'm going to give you project. Post that, I'm going to give you projects. You should sit and work on those projects, and you should send me your, yes, that is what, that also I'm going to explain. That also I'm going to explain. See, first moment, second moment, third moment, fourth moment, checking your missing values, those are called as your EDA part. Summary statistics, describe all these things. Okay, thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Yogesh.
ಖುಷಿ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ಲೆಟ್ ಇಸ್ಕೊಂಬರಪ್ಪ.